Great. I think we can start, Dr. Rajan and Jacqueline. Um, People will keep joining, and whoever is not able to join will get the recording the webinar. Great. Welcome everyone. I think this is one of the most prestigious university which we are able to bring to our students, our base of students, I'll say, in India, who always wanted to have a dream to study in US, but because of multiple reasons, and one of them being financials, has been not able to live up to this particular dream. We have brought a particular program with in association with INSOFE and Case Western Reserve University, which gives you options not only in one particular domain, but it's a varied domain of engineering. We have options in mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer science, as well as biomedical, going from this route. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of questions on this particular program and how it helps you in living up your dream of studying in US, one of the best universities. I'll request all of you to ask your questions in Q&A box. Don't ask your questions in chat box. It's very difficult to track whether it is answered or not. Feel free to ask any question you have on US, on a particular program or a particular university. We'll be able to answer those questions once we have got the introduction done for both Dr. Rajan and Dr. Rajan and Jacqueline. Let me just give a quick intro of Dr. Rajan. He is Dean R&D and a professor at INSOFE. So if you join this program, I think one of the faculty will be Dr. Rajan. I hope. And we have with us Jacqueline Pinto, who is program manager, Siegal Lifelong Learning at Case Western University. Case Western Reserve University. Sorry, my bad, not to pronounce the full name. I hand it over to you, Mr. Rajan, Dr. Rajan. If you can just introduce the overall team and the program and INSOFE particularly before we start with Jacqueline.
And thank you, Ankur. Good evening to everyone, and a warm welcome to it's warm here in Hyderabad. Warm welcome to everyone to this wonderful evening session on introduction to this program that's conducted jointly by INSOFE and Case Western Reserve University. We are very happy to partner with upGrad, who have been shaking up the EdTech environment in India. So very glad to be partners with them. As an introduction to the program, this is a very unique blend of data science. I'm going to use the word, I'm going to use the phrase data science to denote a plethora of techniques, ideas, innovations, technologies that are known in different names. For example, as artificial intelligence, as deep learning, as big data, whatever you want to call them, all of them put together. I'm just going to use the word data science because at INSOFE, we believe that a good comprehensive understanding of data science comes about only when you understand this whole gamut of technologies. The program that we have designed in collaboration with Case Western Reserve University is an amalgamation of data science on the one hand and the specific disciplines of engineering on the other hand. Currently, as Ankur mentioned, we have programs, Master of Science programs in biomedical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and computer science engineering. We are looking for expansion into other domains also with Case Western. But currently, these are the 4 degrees that students will be able to apply for currently. The way the program runs is students would apply to, once students have decided to pursue this course, pursue this program, they would apply directly to Case Western Reserve University. Of course, INSOFE will do the initial filtering of applicants, and then they would apply to Case Western Reserve University, and so admissions will happen directly from Case Western Reserve University. Jacqueline will elaborate on these processes at a specific time. But today we will, I'll just give an overall picture how the whole thing works. Okay, so students apply to the department of their interest and get admitted. And once they get admitted, they start taking classes in India at INSOFE campus. Okay, and they would do 50% of the entire program in India. It might be 50%, a little bit more or less, but approximately 50% of the course they would do in India. And once they have completed this 50% of these courses in India, then they would fly to the Case campus and do the remaining 50%. And each course is, each degree, I mean, each specialization, be it biomedical, mechanical, civil, and computer science, each one is very unique in its own way. So what happens is, with their interest, people decide the department and take up the program, and then they specialize in their area of interest. At INSOFE, what we do is, we give the students a strong foundation on data science. With we have a two-pronged approach to education at INSOFE, specifically for the programs we conduct in collaboration with Case Western. We have the foundational aspects of all branches of data science, plus we give case studies, experiences, laboratory works in the area of their specialty. Say, for example, if people have registered for mechanical engineering, will solve problems in mechanical engineering or do case studies in mechanical engineering, applying the technologies, techniques, concepts they learn at INSOFE in the first part of the course. Once they graduate at this first, once they meet all the requirements of finishing the first 50% of the course at INSOFE, then they travel to Case Western to take advanced courses, very specific courses that are focused in their domain of expertise or their domain of choice. Okay, and depending upon the specialization you choose, students would get to do anywhere from research project or an internship or do extra coursework to develop their knowledge in the field. Okay, like every course at every graduate program in Case Western Reserve University, this program is also in the engineering department. This program is also a 30 credit program, approximately 15 credits depending upon the department you are registered with. You would do approximately 15 credits at INSOFE, and then move on to do another set of 15 credits in the Case campus. Okay. With computer science, we have a special arrangement with computer science department, namely people who do not have the computer science degree. For example, people who have their undergraduate degree in some other engineering, but not in computer science, they could also apply for a master's program in the computer science department, but with the requirement that they take an additional 4.5 credits course, which is the foundation of computer science. Okay, so this gives a tremendous opportunity for people who are engineers, but who want to branch out to computer science. Okay, and that's an option that's available, especially in the computer science department. In terms of okay, I don't want to go into the details of what all you would learn right now in this particular program, but you would do approximately 2 semesters actually 2 semesters of courses at INSOFE, 15 credits, and then go to the US, finish the 2 semesters of courses in the US at the CASE campus. Okay, and this is a full-time program, which means the bar will be quite high. Case Western Reserve University is ranked among the top 20 or 10, Jackie, in the engineering programs. And some of the alumni of Case Western Reserve University, many of you might know, Donald Knuth. Okay, he is considered the father of computing. And Page, who is the Google, one of the founders of Google, right? He was
yes,
from,
I know. Yeah, Srinivasa is going to be talking about that in her recording as well. Yeah.
Okay. So the Case Western counts, Case Western Engineering especially counts among its alumni some of the biggest names in modern technology, in the modern entrepreneurial world, and innovators. Not only that, some of the greatest scientists, for example, people who established theory of relativity, Michelson and Morley, they did their experiments on establishing, putting Einstein's theory on a strong footing. They were actually at Case Western Reserve University. Of course, it was not Case Western Reserve University at that time. It was called a different name, Case University. Case College, and I think Western Reserve University at the time. And Case CWRU counts among its alumni some of the biggest names you can think of. And INSOFE is not too far behind in the Indian scenario. INSOFE counts among its alumni some of the biggest names you would see in the tech area. People who have been actually, for example, Flipkart's Bansal, the bookings.com CEO, all people like such high caliber individuals have gone through INSOFE's programs. And over the period in the last 10 years, we have modified and fine-tuned the curriculum to be in sync with the demand of the industry, what the industry wants. And we have been fine-tuning our curriculum to match the demands of the industry. Therefore, I think this program would be very, very useful for engineers who also want to get into this very exciting field of data science. In fact, if you see at INSOFE, all our faculty actually are from very, very different fields. Now, I am from physics. The founders are from metallurgical engineering. Now, people from very many different backgrounds have come together, and we are all in this wonderful journey of data science, innovations, and education. I'll stop here. I will let Jackie take over from here and explain the Case Western's modality and how this program is in general from Case Western perspective. Jackie, before you start, there are a few people who have raised their hands. We will come to them once we finish the introductions.
Yes, and I will answer some of the questions as I'm explaining. So some of your questions might be answered before we head to the Q&A. So thank you, Dr. Rajan. We were supposed to have Professor Srinivasa here today with us, but unfortunately she's had some other classes that have come up, but she's been kind enough to record a short introduction to the Case School of Engineering and just welcoming all of you today to this webinar. So before I share her video, I just want to introduce Professor Srinivasa. She is the Associate Dean of Professional Programs here at the Case School of Engineering. And she also teaches courses in materials design and manufacturing courses in the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. So she essentially overlooks all of the academic related matters for the professional programs here, which includes the INSOFE program under the Case School of Engineering. So I'm just going to go ahead and share her recording, and I will continue with my presentation after that.
Hello, my name is Srinivasa Collins, and I'm the Associate Dean for Professional Programs at the Case School of Engineering. And as such, I am one of the major contacts here for the INSOFE program. I know that Jackie Pinto had asked me to come and speak with you today, but unfortunately my teaching schedule is happening at the same time you're having your meeting. But I did want to come in and say hello and say a few words about the Case School of Engineering and our relationship with INSOFE. For those of you who are not familiar with Case Western Reserve University and the Case School of Engineering, we are located in Cleveland, Ohio, and we are a school that we've been around for quite a while. The origins of the university go back to 1826, and the Case School of Engineering goes back to 1880. So we've had quite a long history here of engineering in this part of the world. And let me share my screen and tell you a few things about the Case School of Engineering. There, I hope you can see these slides. All right. The Case School of Engineering, and you know, we like to say that we don't just engineer, we are also envisioning a better world and making it happen. The background here is a wind turbine that we have here on campus, and it's part of our focus on sustainability as a university. So we do research around all of that. By the numbers, if you think about our school, our student population, we are about 2/3 undergraduate and 1/3 graduate and professional students. And within that, we have in our overall engineering faculty, we have 120 full-time faculty. So we have a very good ratio of faculty to students, and that can be extremely helpful, especially in these graduate programs. To give you some idea of the sorts of things that we've done in terms of innovation as a university and as a school of engineering, we've basically started many new programs that have turned into larger initiatives across the globe. For example, we had the first macromolecular or polymer science degree in 1963, and also the first accredited computer engineering degree. So we've had a very strong computer science and computer engineering effort here for quite a long time. We had one of the first biomedical engineering degrees in the country, and it's highly ranked. And in 2015, we started a data science and analytics degree in the United States. Our alumni go all over the world and do all sorts of interesting things. We have over 20,000 living alumni from the School of Engineering, and even the ones that you know are long past, I can tell you that many of them have done things that have started entire industries, like Herbert Dow, who started Dow Chemical. We've had Frank Rudy, who invented the Nike Air Sole, was a graduate of our mechanical engineering department. Paul Buchheit, an architect for Gmail, is often on campus, and we have a good connections with Google because of that. And one of our 17 Nobel laureates associated with the university is Paul Lauterbur, who received the 2003 Nobel Prize for magnetic resonance imaging. So this is just to give you some idea of you know, the type of institution that we are. Within the School of Engineering, we have 8 departments, and not all of these have INSOFE degrees, but the ones that do are basically the computer science, data science area, the specialty degrees in biomedical engineering, in mechanical engineering, and in civil engineering. So as you can see, we have a whole bunch of other departments as well. And for those of you who don't know about Cleveland, Cleveland is you know, a city that's located in Northeast Ohio, which is a state in the Midwest in the United States. It is a Great Lakes state, so we are located right on the shores of Lake Erie, so one of the 5 Great Lakes states. And we basically have been a hub for many companies. There's quite a bit of manufacturing and research in this part of the country. And our students end up in positions at many of these different companies and places. So as you can see, we have manufacturing companies like Timken, Eaton, Sherwin-Williams, Parker Hannifin, et cetera. But we also have a very strong healthcare bent within this region as well, because of the Cleveland Clinic, university hospitals, and then a variety of other medical centers and medical device manufacturers that are located here. So I hope I've given you a little bit of a flavor about Case Western Reserve. I know that Jackie is happy to answer any additional questions you might have. Again, I regret that I can't be there to say hello in person and answer questions, but hopefully we'll be able to do that next time. Meanwhile, I will sign off and wish you all a good meeting. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So that was Professor Srinivasa, and I'm just, while she's spoken about the academic and some of the programs, I just want to quickly go over student life on campus and how it is to be in Cleveland, in the middle of the campus community. So give me 1 second and let me just share my screen. Okay, so as Ankur and Dr. Rajan said, I'm Jacqueline Pinto, and I am essentially the program manager for the INSOFE programs here on campus. I overlook everything from essentially cradle to grave. So from the beginning, when you start your applications, until the point that you graduate, I will be there to guide you, to help you, to answer any of your questions, and overlook any of the administrative and some of the academic matters. So I just want to play this video about, it's just students talking about the campus and students talking about their life on campus. Dr. Rajan, can you see the video? Is that clear? Okay.
I came here and I sort of immersed myself in Cleveland, and it's awesome. This is a great location. Industry-wise, so many headquarters are right here that you would never even have thought of.
I like that it's close to NASA.
You can get jobs and internships in the Cleveland area within walking distance.
So close to so many hospitals like Cleveland Clinic,
university hospitals,
Metro Health,
and the VA hospitals. And we work in conjunction with their research labs and their doctors.
It's a great place for engineering businesses and manufacturing businesses because you don't have the high cost of Silicon Valley, but you still have the skill sets that you need to be able to launch something.
We're increasingly being lauded as one of the top destinations for early round funding for new ventures.
One other cool thing about Cleveland is they have Ingenuity Fest, which is the most interesting show that combines arts, engineering, science, and innovation.
I really like Cleveland. The weather is different every season. There's a lot of variety.
It's really a city on the come up. Uptown is right smack dab in the middle of campus, and they've really started developing restaurants and apartments.
The part of town that we're in, University Circle, is fantastic. Great museums, architecture, restaurants.
I like that you can go to Severance Hall if you want to see a concert.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is really cool.
We get free passes to the RTA system to see the things that Cleveland has to offer.
There's so many things to do here. It's crazy. I love it.
Okay, so as while Cleveland, yes, is a hub for medical and engineering, manufacturing, it's also a great city to live in and to work in. And as Srinivasa said, we have a huge network of alumni, and these are a global network. So when you do graduate from one of our programs, you will be part of that network and you'll have access to these alumni. In addition, the campus is very diverse. For the Midwest, it is a really diverse community and a diverse student body. We've been earning the Higher Education Excellence and Diversity Award, for over 10 years now, and it is the focus on diversity is great here on campus. And I just want to talk about student life on campus. Once you do come here, we have a huge Indian student body, so you're never really going to feel as homesick as you would maybe in some other campuses. Satrang is the Graduate Indian Student Association. The pictures here of Holi is essentially, we had that last week on campus. It was because of COVID, we weren't able to have Holi celebration for the last 2 years. This was the first time everyone on campus got together in over 2 years in such a large celebration. We have Diwali parties usually every year, and Satrang is a very great way to network with other Indian graduate students doing different programs on campus. You also have a lot of, as the video said, a lot of cultural, attractions. As a student here, you have the free access program. So you essentially get access to all of these museums for free. You get free tickets. You can go as many times as you want. We have the Museum of Art here. You have the Botanical Gardens, the Museum of Natural History, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Severance Hall. And, for those of you who are music buffs, the Cleveland Orchestra is one of the best in the world. I think it's in the top 3 in the US. Some even say the best in the US. And you also have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have a lot of concerts and a lot of music events that happen in Cleveland. And you have access to most of this for free, and you can go as many times as you want. In terms of engineering, the engineering community is very strong here. And there are lots of societies and lots of clubs that you can join, to pursue more academic endeavors. We also have Engineering Week every year. We have Grad Week every year. So there are lots of events. It's a very happening campus community, and you're never going to be, bored, or you're never going to be left with nothing to do on a weekend. So in terms of student life, it's a great campus community to be studying in. I also want to talk about, given that you're doing a master's program, when most of our INSOFE students on campus do choose to work on campus, while you won't have CPT or internships while you're doing your program, because as Dr. Rajan said, it is a full-time program, a lot of our students work on campus. This could be work in any of our campus offices. A lot of them do research work with our faculty. They work in labs. They are research assistants. They're teaching assistants. So there's a lot of work available on campus. So students can earn money while they're on campus, and they can make, earn an income while on campus and while they're doing their courses. With regards to the visa process, most of our students, we've had a very high acceptance rate. Most students from INSOFE get accepted for their F1 visa. INSOFE is great in that sense that they'll guide you every step of the way, and they'll help you and help you throughout the process, from the applications to the interview process. And once you arrive on campus, you have an F1 visa, so you're allowed to work, as I said, on campus. And at the end of your graduation period, you get your OPT, which gives you the opportunity to work outside for about 3 years. So because all of our programs are STEM programs, in addition to the traditional 1-year extension or work permit that you get, you would also get an additional 2 more years. So essentially you have the option to work in the US after you graduate for 3 years through your OPT, which is your optional practical training opportunity. So, it is most students, we've had one set of students graduate and they've already started working. This month now, we have another big batch of students from INSOFE graduating this May. And it's very easy, as Srinivasa said, this is a hub. A lot of manufacturing firms, a lot of healthcare firms are on campus, and not everyone chooses to stay in Cleveland. You can easily go anywhere else in the US to work. So that's the main visa process. I do want to talk about, I know we've had certain questions about applications. For most students, as long as you studied in an institution where English was the medium of instruction, which is usually most Indian universities, they teach in English, you do not need the IELTS or TOEFL. It's waived off. It's obviously waived off after your application. So once they verify, or once the admissions team verifies that you have studied at an institution and your transcripts are submitted, you no longer need to submit an IELTS or TOEFL. For those of you who haven't studied at an institution where English was the medium of instruction, you do need to submit an IELTS or TOEFL. The minimum score for engineering schools for IELTS is 6.5. With regards to GRE, we don't at this point, because of the GRE requirements being waived off during COVID, we have not reinstated that. So most programs do not need a GRE for applying. If you have it, that's great, and that can add to your profile, but you don't need the GRE score. And there is no minimum GRE. We try to evaluate applications on a holistic manner. So we don't just look at one section. We look at your experience, we look at your grades, we look at everything as a whole. So your GRE score is relevant, but there is no minimum score. And I think that's some of the questions that have come up. The application process, as Dr. Rajan said, is you apply to Case Western Reserve University. Just to be clear, this program is a Case Western Reserve program. When you graduate, your degree will state Case Western Reserve University. It will be just as the same as any other student directly, coming to Case and applying. The advantage that this program gives you is, one, it gives you access to, doing data science credits at INSOFE, and also it reduces some of your costs because you're spending 1 year in India and then coming to the US, so you're saving on that additional living expenses and costs that otherwise you would have to pay if you were directly coming on campus. So I'm going to stop there. And if any of you have any questions, yeah, sorry, Uncle, do you want to?
Jacqueline.
I wanted one of the questions which I see. Can someone take them through each and every program in terms of what are the various programs? I think there was one question regarding the part they will be doing in India, part they will be doing there, as well as a question on the fee structure. So if someone can take them through the 4 programs which we have.
Do you want me to answer that, Dr. Rajan?
Yes, yes, I can take that. Okay. But before that, while I somewhere had a PowerPoint presentation for the same information. While I'm searching for that, Jackie, can you please also expound on the post-graduation employment opportunities, OPT issues, those kind of things also?
So yes, so most of our students, as I said, you do qualify for OPT. Depending on the program you're in, you have to, so if you're doing a biomedical engineering program, the OPT restricts the companies you can work for. In the sense, you have a lot of opportunities because Cleveland is the hub for med tech and medical devices companies, but you have to work in the biomedical field. And there are lots of job opportunities, and the return on investment for these programs are huge because you tend to graduate with a very sought after Masters of Science program. And a lot of employers are looking for that unique, expertise, because you will be graduating with something that not other engineering graduates would have. That is, you have access and you've been trained in data science, which a lot of these companies are now pivoting towards. So even if you're applying for a core engineering program, you will have to do some level of data science as you're in your job, and this degree gives you that experience and gives you that training. So so the job opportunities are great. The university has a lot of alumni networks and alumni connections. We have career fairs held twice a year in fall and spring, where businesses and firms come on campus. We also have a lot of career support and services through the graduate school. So it is a very promising degree.
Yes. Give me a second, please.
Meanwhile, I'll just answer 1 or 2 questions while you're opening. Kapil, you are asking for how much score IELTS and GRE is required for T1 university. I think each university will have their own criteria. For the specific program of Case Western Reserve University, as mentioned by Jackie, if you have a medium of instruction in English from your graduation college or university, then you don't need to give IELTS. So that's a big plus. I think a lot of people do not go and study abroad because they believe that IELTS will be a tough exam. And so that's one. And GRE also is waived for this year. So this year, if you join, I think you get dual benefit. Neither IELTS nor GRE has to be given. Parminder, yes, your question I think has been answered. The statement which you are asking, can we study without IELTS in USA for masters? It's true for Case Western Reserve University and INSOFE program only in case your medium of instruction is English for your graduation college or university. Yeah, I think Dipajit Malik, you want to know more about the program fee structure. So as a Professor Rajan will just now take you through that. You want to share your screen?
Yes. I want to share my screen. I just converted from one format to another. All my letters are in white on white, so I'm just editing the colors. Just give me 1 minute. Let me.
Okay. So meanwhile, Dave Dubey wants to know what is the cost of living in the Cleveland. I think Jackie, they want to know what is the I-20 cost in terms of the living expenses, as well as what is the actual cost they will be incurring.
So the I-20 cost for academic year, we state it as about $14,000 to $15,000 US for a year. Again, that's a very average to a relatively high estimate for most students if you're sharing an apartment with your other students, and depending on how much you spend eating out. As we said, most events are free, and if you're on campus, again, it isn't that expensive. But that's like the I-20 cost. So you do need to show funding for about $14,000 in terms of living expenses for a year.
And they will be paying the rest of the fees, which is around $24,000 odd plus $14,000 is what the I-20 will be.
Correct. So the I-20 is about $35,000 to $40,000 to $45,000, including everything. Again, our tuition cost before all of the INSOFE students currently get a flat 25% scholarship. So when they apply and once you're admitted, and that's one of the huge advantages, if you're applying directly, your cost of the program is going to be about $60,000 to $70,000, whereas if you're applying through INSOFE, that automatically drops it by 25%. So all students who apply automatically get that scholarship, and it's given every term. So it's not given up front. Every term when you pay your tuition, based on the number of credits you register for, you are given a 25% scholarship on the tuition rates.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a few more points there. See, one of the things which I found very interesting about the university is that even this $45,000 odd which we're talking about plus living costs, actually, if you go and talk to education loan companies in India, specifically, I know few who are willing to do for Case Western Reserve University 100% funding for you, without any guarantor and without any collateral, just based on the university profile and the job opportunities which you will get after completing your course. You are given, in a way, free check by the university, by these educational companies to go and complete your education and then start paying. And the loan rates are also very affordable. They start somewhere around 9%, which is very affordable for a student who wants to go to study in US. So this is one of those programs where actually you can get 100% loan, and you will get moratorium as well. Only once you complete, you find a job, then you will start paying your loan. So yeah, I wanted to bring out this particular point. So your I-20 should be manageable through that particular loan amount. Yeah. There's one question I can see. Ma'am, please tell me, I have done my graduation in BCom. So I want to study masters in US. Please tell me which course I can take. I believe this is a 3-year course, just to let you know, Jacqueline, and this will not be eligible for our program, I believe.
Yeah. So for now, if you've done a 3-year course, you have to then do either you have to have a master's or some additional additional degree to be qualified. So we accept 4-year programs, but at this point we don't accept 3-year programs. There are, again, depending on technically, if you were to submit your course for evaluation to the World Education Services, and if they evaluate your course as equivalent to a 4-year degree, then universities do accept it. But most universities in the US, if it's a 3-year program, they need you to qualify or verify with the World Education Services or some other international body that it is equivalent to a 4-year program. At that point, CASE would also accept it if you get the verification from World Education Services or one of the other international bodies, and that's listed on their application website for CASE.
I think this similar question is being asked by a person called Jan. A person from BCA can go in data science course. Mr. Jan, yes, you can go, But for this particular program, which we are discussing today, we require a 4-year education in India during your graduation. So unless, as mentioned by Jackie, you can prove its equivalence to 4-year of US program, which will require you to get best certification. You will not be eligible without any master's degree in addition to PCA. Yes, sorry, Dr. Rajan, I interrupted you. Please go ahead.
No. That you mentioned about the BCom. The same thing applies to BCA also. Someone has asked about BCA. It applies to that also. And also remember, this is a STEM program. Therefore, if you are not from the STEM branch, you might not be eligible for this program.
Yeah. I can answer. There's one question about someone from a civil engineering background wanting to pursue the master's in computer science. As Dr. Rajan said, we've recently introduced a pathway program for computer science. So this would allow students who are from non-computer science backgrounds to still do a master's. It's just, instead of a typical master's being 30 credits, you now need to do an additional 4.5 credits, which is a foundation course. So that's the pathway option. So if you are accepted into the program, you will begin by doing the first foundations of computer science course, and then you'll go on with the regular, credits for your master's in computer science. So yes, you can apply and you can be eligible for application because of the pathway program.
Yeah. So Dr. Rajan, you want to show your presentation before?
Yes. Yes. I start that. The presentation is mainly for the biomedical, mechanical, and civil. For the computer science, we will answer the questions, but we can describe. I don't have the slide for that. Okay. So the program, the MS degree programs that we have are, sorry, I don't know why I put June here. It's an amalgamation of engineering and data science, and it brings together one of the oldest universities and very prominent in the US with INSOFE. We have 4 programs, one in biomedical engineering, one in mechanical, one in civil, and another in computer science. Of course, we'll talk about computer science as we move on. The program structure is that students do 30 credits totally, approximately 15 credits at INSOFE campuses and 15 credits at the CASE campus. What they do at INSOFE is color coded, so I think you can easily match them, is they do essential data science courses, the foundational data science courses for 9 credits, and then advanced courses specific to their specialization, 6 credits at INSOFE. And then when they go to CASE campus, they do additional engineering courses, advanced engineering courses, and project work for 15 credits at CASE campus. The structure is very similar to computer science also. In computer science, they do 15 credits at INSOFE. Again, there are 9 credits which are essential data science, but are more designed more for the people with computational background. So the essential data science courses for engineering programs like mechanical, civil, and biomedical would be different from the engineering programs that computer science students would take, because there's a much more computational in their outlook. And they would do specialized courses in couple of areas, specifically in computer networks and computer vision at INSOFE, and then go to CASE campus and complete the remaining 15 credits. The computer science program has a very interesting structure where students could opt to pursue one of 3 what are called tracks. The 3 tracks are: one is regular graduation by courses, the other one is graduation by research, and the third one is graduation by industrial experience. So each one of them gives different kind of an exposure to and provide opportunities depending upon the aspirations of the students. For example, people who want to immediately branch out to getting a job in a high-tech industry might want to choose the track with industrial experience. People who are academically oriented, they might want to do either the graduation by coursework or graduation by research. Okay? There, the number of courses, that is classes, lecture classes that you take, the number of credit hours varies depending upon which kind of track you take. All these details are available in case campuses, or of course, you can always write to us or contact us to learn more about that. And also the computer science program lets you specialize in very many different areas of computer science. For example, in data mining or in artificial intelligence or in advanced analytics. They have 7 different areas in which you can specialize in the Master of Science in Computer Science program. Okay? And of course, you already know about Case Western University. Dr. Srinivasa Collins described clearly about the legacy, the ranking and the position of Case Western Reserve University. Okay, of course, you can find this information. These numbers are a bit dated. Okay, these are increased and these have changed a little bit. In fact, I think that this number, the School of Engineering annual research expenditure has actually increased. I think about 100%. Okay, these numbers are a bit dated now, but you get a idea of the scale of operations at Case Western Reserve University, especially the scale of engineering. In the last financial year, that is actually this is 2020-21, the Case campus, the School of Engineering has got about 350 inventions, patents, deals, and startups. Okay, and in 1 year, they had about 259 research publications, awards, not publications, research awards, and the Case boasts of 17 Nobel laureates. And personally, for me, okay, Case actually gives this very Cleveland actually gives this very interesting environment, which is very academic as well as experiential in nature. As you would have seen in Srinivasa Collins' presentation, the city is filled with high-tech and very innovative, very elite research organizations in the city. So you would have a wonderful experience if you venture out and be a little bit adventurous and search for knowledge. This would be an excellent campus. Of course, here are the same things that Srinivasa Collins mentioned. Some of the job opportunities that you could branch out to. For example, you could become a robotics engineer, depending upon whether you take computer science or whether you take mechanical engineering, or even whether you take biomedical engineering. Of course, you can think about what should I call it, prostheses. You can think about exoskeletal research. All these different very wonderful areas where you can move into, or you can if you are very coding oriented, if you are a coder, that's what entices you. Now, of course, the opportunities in data science is extreme. In fact, this has been growing phenomenally. There was the COVID pandemic has actually, what has done is it has rocked the boat for many people, but for data science and high tech, actually this has been a boom. Unfortunately, nobody needs a pandemic, but the pandemic has created much more opportunities than we could have imagined even 2-3 years ago. So the opportunities for data scientists has actually exploded. Okay? It's very big, much bigger than what it was even 2-3 years ago. Or if you are interested in really high tech, okay, if you're interested in solving big problems like deep learning network, or if you're interested in addressing very specific healthcare issues, for example, artificial intelligence specialist kind of jobs, lots of things are available. The job opportunities are humongous. It's only restricted by the imagination that you have. How you train yourself during the graduation phase, and then how you market yourself. So of course, the program highlights are that you get at least at present the GRE and TOEFL. TOEFL, if you have your undergraduate degree from an institution where English was your mode of instruction, language of instruction, then GRE and TOEFL are waived off. You get a large scholarship in terms of fee waiver. Optional practical training opportunities are there, and above all, an excellent educational and innovation environment you will be immersed in. Okay? Finally, we end up with this quote from the Dean of Case School of Engineering. In fact, he visited us a couple of weeks ago. We had a very wonderful interaction, and we are looking forward to expanding our programs quite a bit in the near future. Our dual special master degree programs provide a rigorous curriculum based on data science and designed to help our graduates stand out in that field. That's what the aim of this program is. And the founder of INSOFE, Dr. Dakshinamurthy Pulluru, as he says, practicing deep learning, AI, machine learning has become easy. In fact, this is the case. What used to be a PhD program 5 years back is a classroom practice for an engineer today. I remember what I did for my PhD. Okay, now undergraduate students actually do that. Okay, as a regular classroom exercise. The field has grown phenomenally, and even though it has grown phenomenally, the opportunities are still very high. It is branched out into many things, and the opportunities are very high. People are working on much more complex problems and solving much more important issues using data science. Okay, with this, I'll stop here. And any questions you may have, we'll still continue to take. Someone by the name Pulwant or Punwant was raising hands. Please ask your question in the question and answer dialog box. Okay.
Yes, let me which questions can need to be answered. How I can apply for? Yeah, I think Jackie is very active. She has been answering a lot of questions. So I see few questions are open. I think Parminder wants to know, how can I apply for visa process with you? Please tell me. I think we need to explain when I-20 will be issued, and when will they go for their actual visa interviews and visa process. So maybe Dr. Rajan, you want to expand on that one?
Actually, Jackie is the better person.
So yeah, depending on when they apply, if they apply for, let's assume you're applying for the summer or fall, usually once you apply, you get your I-20 within the next couple of months. Since you're doing 2 terms on campus, you have enough time to get your visa interview. Obviously, the earlier you get your documents sorted, because for I-20, you need to show proof of funding. So the earlier you get your loan approvals and your proof of funding, you can get your I-20 and apply for your visa interview. We don't, actually our record is really great in the sense that I think out of all of the students who have applied, we've only had one who had to reapply their first interview, and that's it, which is great for most. Typically they have a much higher rate of rejection. So INSOFE is great in that terms, that they really help you every step of the way. Yes, Dr.
Yeah. Today we looked at the data. In fact, 100% acceptance so far. Nobody was rejected.
Yeah, so it's they help you every step of the way, and you don't really have to worry. They'll guide, like they will tell you what needs to be done. They have mock interview rounds. They will go through your entire application. So there isn't much to worry about in terms of the visa, because there are dedicated people at INSOFE who just will help you every step of the way. So I don't think that should be a concern for any of the students. Yeah.
There is one question. It's asked so it's like or better than UC Cincinnati. I don't think it would be correct on our part to answer such questions. I would suggest you please do your search on the Google, and you make your own judgment on that.
Yeah, I think this question also has been answered. How much money should we have in account in case of visa interview? I think the I-20 amount will be around $40,000 as mentioned by Jackie. So that is what you need to show in your account. A little bit more than that, not exactly the same amount. Whatever is the I-20 amount, keep a little bit more than that for the visa interview.
Correct. I've had a lot of questions about tuition. On average, our graduate programs, if you're applying directly, cost about $60,000. That's about $2,000 per credit into 30 credits. But through the INSOFE program, you get a 25% scholarship. So essentially, your program would cost you just about $45,000, which is fairly, competitive for a master's program of this type. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Khushi is trying to ask question, are there UG programs as well? So Khushi, not right now with the INSOFE and case system, but go through our website. We have multiple partnerships for UG program as well, including Northern Arizona and 2 other universities. You can go and check on our website, which is upgradabroad.com. So I leave it to you to decide. Okay, now I see one question. Dave is asking, I think, so it's like a boot camp, sir, for the basics of data science. So he wants to know from you, Dr. Rajan.
It's a 2-semester, Dave. So if you know of any boot camp that goes for 2 semesters, I would be happy to learn about that. It's a regular program. It's, as I mentioned, you are joining a program that's run by CASE, and you can think of it as this. You are doing part of the coursework in the Indian campus, and the remaining part you are doing in the CASE campus. And that's how I would like to describe this collaborative program. Okay? It is not a boot camp.
INSOFE is officially listed as a CASE affiliate, like off-campus location. So you're still a CASE student. You have access to all of the CASE resources. You will have access to the CASE students portal. The only difference is that INSOFE faculty, who again have been vetted by CASE, they are listed as adjunct faculty in CASE. So they're essentially CASE faculty will be teaching you the courses in India. That's the only distinction. These courses all run on campus. The syllabus, everything is exactly the same as it would have been on campus. The only difference is it's taught at INSOFE in India instead of on campus. And obviously this, like the cost differential.
In fact, Kapil Kumar has said it correctly, and MS in this program is exactly is available at the CASE University. Same thing like that, 1 year in India and 1 year in the CASE campus. Okay, this is equivalent to the complete full course on campus.
Yeah, yes. I think for help of everyone, I have put the links on the chat box for 2 courses, mechanical and biomedical. I think you guys can go through that and find more details which you are asking for in terms of the cost structure and how much you have to pay in the beginning, how much you have to pay later. There are a lot of FAQs which are already answered. I'll take this one. I'm pursuing my bachelor's in electrical engineering. Which course will be suitable for me and which course will be highly demandable in future, I think. Yeah. So Mr. Swaraj, I think if you're doing electrical engineering, you can decide amongst the 4 courses which we have. But it all depends on your choice. If you want to pursue MS in electrical engineering, as mentioned by Jackie, there is no route from INSOFE. You can go directly, but then you'll have to pay full fees, which is already available on the website. So if you want to go through the pathway to do computer, yeah, sorry, Dr. You go ahead.
No. Full fee. Plus also there are the GRE TOEFL requirements.
Yes. So yeah, so please have a look at the program which is available there. But INSOFE gives you an option of studying MS in computer science, which is in demand field, and everybody wants to do computer science in future. So look at whether you meet the eligibility requirement or not. If not, then you'll have to go through the pathway program as mentioned by Dr. Rajan earlier. Yeah. Do a few more courses and go for MS in computer science.
So we've had a few. The pathway program is just slightly more expensive because because you're doing 4.5 credits extra. So that's just going to be, if I do the math, it's about $6,000 extra. So instead of $45,000 for the pathway program, it would be about $50,000, but it's giving you an opportunity to do a program that otherwise you wouldn't be eligible for. So I think the return on investment for that extra $5,000 is going to be well worth it once you graduate.
Yeah, I think this is the question which CV Sai Chaitanya Reddy asked on chat box. You answered well. What is the course costs in India before go to case? Okay, so Kapil, the course cost as is complete course cost as mentioned on website. Half of that is paid while you're studying in India, and half is fully to Case Western, as I understand. So half you pay in India and half you pay once you go to Case Western.
No.
Okay.
That's not the way it works. Everything is handled by Case. So students apply to Case, students pay the fee to Case, actually.
That's what I mentioned.
But yeah, the first half, so it's about 45,000 divided by 2. So basically about 20 to 23,000 is what you would pay while in India, but you're paying to Case. So the tuition and payments and everything is done through the Case systems, but that will be the payments that you're going to pay in the 2 terms that you're in India.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring out, I think that's what I mentioned, I think, Dr. Rajan, that money will only go to Case Western, and that's why your loan will not be an issue, because all the Indian banks or the financial institutions will be giving the loan on the name of Case Western and the offer letter which you get from Case Western Reserve University. So that's why you don't have to show anything additional there. Yeah, Kapil. Hopefully that answers your question, Kapil. Great. I think we have answered all the questions. We have explained things. If you still have any questions which are not answered, feel free to drop inquiry on upgradabroad.com. One of our counselor will reach out to you and will guide you in terms of the process, questions, and anything which I need to reach out to Jackie and Mr. Rajan will obviously reach out to them. Great. Thanks a lot for your time, Jackie and Dr. Rajan. Hopefully our students enjoyed this webinar, and we'll share the recording with people who have registered but could not join today. Great. Take care.
Thank you. It was a nice evening. Good day to all.